The 2024 Paris Olympics are right around the corner, and we have so many exciting prospects to look forward to. And one of the most interesting right now, in my opinion, is certainly the marathon, because we have Kipchoge looking to become the only athlete in history to win 3 consecutive Olympic marathon titles. But we also have Kelvin Kiptum rapidly rising in the ranks, and he recently broke Kipchoge's world record with a time of 2 hours and 35 seconds. These two will probably clash for the first time in next year's Paris Marathon. There are so many different possibilities as to what will happen up until that point. However, there's been one perspective from a previous great runner that I find very confusing. Kenyan marathon legend Ibrahim Hussein believes that one of these two athletes, if they know that they're not going to win in next year's Olympic marathon, have a high likelihood of dropping out. Now, it is important to mention that Hussein is a 3-time Boston champion, and he has much more experience than your average runner. So him saying this does give a little bit more credence to the possibility. But there's also something that I wanted to add here, and that's that for Kipchoge, he actually has not won 2 recent races, and that was the 2020 London Marathon and, of course, the 2023 Boston Marathon. But for both of those performances, he finished, and he made sure that he finished, even though he was dropped pretty hard in the second half of the race. Now, I can't speak for Kelvin Kiptum, who has only placed first in every single marathon that he has run. In fact, he's only broken 2 hours and 2 minutes, which is just bonkers. But I don't understand exactly why he would think that Kiptum is just going to drop out and not finish the race if someone like Kipchoge or potentially someone else passes him over the second half. Also, let's face the facts here. It is going to be very difficult for anyone to take down Kiptum over the second half. He has only run negative splits during his marathon performances, and 2 of those were under 1 hour for the second half. This man is insane. Personally, I find this kind of take a little bit troubling because it puts little faith into these athletes even being able to finish. I think in his mind, he is seeing this kind of dropout as potentially them just not wanting to place second. However, I feel like there's a lot of humility and a lot of grace that comes with African distance running. They very often find themselves in less than ideal positions, and so often I see athletes continuing to race and making sure that they finish. For Kipchoge, we already know that even if he does get dropped, he's going to finish, and that takes a lot of integrity, especially when you're used to winning for close to a decade. But for Kiptum, that will certainly be a different kind of story. But I still think that Kiptum, even if he were not to win, is going to finish the race. It just doesn't make sense to me to be worried that someone is going to drop out of an Olympic marathon when you have a lot of prize money on the line, when you have potential immortality on the line. I just don't understand this take, and it left me a little bit confused. Either way, next year's Olympic Marathon is going to be very, very exciting, and I do want to remind people that there are no pacemakers in an Olympic Marathon. That's the reason why Kipchoge has only run 2 hours and 8 minutes for the Rio Games and the Tokyo Games. So a world record is almost guaranteed not to go down, but I am extremely excited to see what happens between Kelvin Kiptum and Eliud Kipchoge, and I must admit that right now, I think that Kiptum pretty much has the advantage. I think that he is just so fast over the second half that Kipchoge is going to have a very difficult time keeping up with his 23-year-old counterpart. It is very important to see this age difference also because the 15-year gap between these two gives Kiptum a huge speed advantage. I still think Kipchoge has a great chance of winning. In fact, right now, it is definitely between Kelvin Kiptum and Eliud Kipchoge. So this will certainly be a battle between the rising star with incredible finishing speed and the marathon legend and greatest of all time on his home turf in the marathon circuit. And now I would love to hear from all of you. What do you think about this marathon take? Do you think there's a risk of one of them dropping out? And what do you think is going to happen in next year's Paris Olympics? Leave your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching, everyone. And as always, until next time.